Hey guys, today's video is all about Razer getting into VR. We're going to look at some of the products, so stay tuned because this is going to be very interesting. But first, a big shout out to today's sponsor of the day, VR-Wave.store, where you can get all your various different lens prescription adapters for all your VR headsets. Hi guys, and welcome back to VR Essentials, where we talk about the practical uses of virtual reality and everything about the Digiverse, of course, or the metaverse as you know it. Today is a very interesting video as we're going to talk about Razer, as mentioned in the intro, and what it really means in terms of their involvement here in virtual reality, because I saw an article about this a few days ago whilst I was in France, and I didn't really, see anyone else talk about it online, and I thought it would be something quite interesting to refer to because it is, in my mind, I believe, to be quite big news. So let's just go to the actual article very quickly now. Let me just press my... The title reads, Razer announces Quest 2 adjustable head strap and facial interface. That's pretty cool. So let's just read on a little bit. Razer is getting into the VR accessory game soon, as the company announced at CES 2023, which was not too long ago, that it's selling a head strap system and facial interface built specifically for the Meta Quest 2, which I think is pretty interesting. So now we also know that, of course, the Pico 4, which was released not too long ago, a few months back, ByteDance are pumping a lot of money. So their headset is undoubtedly going to become quite popular. What do you think? Do you think it's going to become popular, or do you think it's going to, not really get there? Do leave a comment below about this as well. But we do know that Meta, however, are pretty popular and are probably going to grow in the popularity as time goes by, with the Meta Quest 3 announced to be coming out this year, of course, probably in May or in October, one or the other, of course. So, this basically means that Razer are dipping their feet into, or their toes into, the VR water space. Starting off with Meta Quest 2, obviously they want to make an impact. They want to have as many potential sales as possible, but it also means that they're most probably going to adapt, their accessories to other VR headsets eventually, to the Pico 4 and also to the HTC Vive Elite. Why not? That's going to be, who knows, perhaps quite a popular headset, even though it is a little bit pricey, I have to admit, more for prosumers than consumers. But, there might be other headsets coming out as well where, it'll be good for Razer to equally have their accessories to be modified for those other VR headsets. So that already, I think, is something that's going to be pretty exciting to be looking forward to. All right, so just going back to the article, it says the accessories were built by Razer in collaboration with RedMed, a San Diego, California-based medical equipment company that knows its way around all-day comfort. Now, I think that's very interesting because the fact that they're partnering with a medical equipment company shows that the build quality is most undoubtedly something that to Razer is going to be very important. Undoubtedly, with all its other accessories that it sells in various other industries at the moment. And we are going to talk about what potentially it could mean in the world of VR too in just a moment. So do stay tuned. But perhaps even not only is it going to be medical grade accessories, but perhaps even, now I'm speculating, but it could be military grade. So who knows? Maybe, the accessories are really, really going to do an amazing job. Now, let's just look very quickly at the actual picture of the accessory itself, because now I'm not quite sure, of course, until we actually try it and we're able to know how it's going to feel. A lot of questions are going to be, of course, about weight distribution. Does this mean that basically the weight distribution on the actual headset is going to be a little bit more balanced, because the Quest 2 is very front heavy, and do leave a comment below. Do you find it extremely front heavy if you don't have a Elite strap, let's say, or does the Elite strap help you to balance the weight a little bit more? Because with the Pico 4, of course, it's very weight distributed quite equally, and I would imagine that with the HTC, Elite XR, then it's also going to have some form of good weight distribution there as well, with the battery at the back and everything at the front. But if we just look at the pictures, we just go through, we'll talk about the facial interface in just a moment. You can see, so basically it hooks up this way and you have the Quest 2 at the front there. Now, the Quest 3 is coming out, as I mentioned, this year between May and October. So will it be compatible with that? Are many people going to be shifting from Quest 2, to the Quest 3? And will that mean that Razer is kind of going to miss the boat if they release their products more towards the Quest 3 launch? Or are they actually not going to release for Quest 2 and they're just going to have Quest 3 accessories? These are the kind of questions, I guess, that we could, be asking ourselves in a way. All right, so let's just go back to the article and read a little bit more. So, designed for long-lasting comfort and weight balance support, the Razer adjustable head strap system was created with all head shapes in mind. Now, I have to say that, Asian heads, female heads, Western heads, we all have different heads, so that's going to be very interesting to see whether it really is flexible for all different type of creeds and races. The high-performance nylon material provides reliability, comfort, and durability, whilst the optimized weight distribution allows for more balance during active gameplay. The soft adjustable straps will help gamers find the perfect fit, and quick slip-on design ensures little interruption in resuming gameplay, Razer says in a press statement. Now, I like to focus a little bit more where it says during active gameplay will help gamers. So obviously it's, going for gamers. This is really who they're calling in terms of people who are using VR, even though we're not all gamers in VR, but, they are really going for the gamers. And if we actually go to their website, let me just turn over again, and you'll see that, the Razer website, obviously they are known for gaming. That is what, Razer is known for. Let me just, go back to the website. There we go. And they have a whole heap of different products from, Leviathan, Razer. They have cameras, they have console games, pads, the chairs, the headphones, earbuds, headphone with mic, laptops, keyboards, and they came out with, if I'm not wrong, some other stuff as well. So, they have a whole bunch of different stuff that is really, really for gamers. And of course, they organize a lot of events, esports and all that kind of stuff. So really what it means to me now, as you can see, it's not on the website yet, obviously. So it's not out yet. They don't have a VR section yet, but I undoubtedly can see a section that is going to be called VR. And inside of this section, you will have all the various different accessories, of course. Now, at the moment, the only accessories that they have announced is the head strap and also if we just go back to the pictures here, also the facial interface. Now, there's two different things that is going on here. First of all, there are other companies, for example, VR Cover, who are more, into the premium side of VR accessories. That means that their accessories are pretty pricey, but at the same time, they are very good build quality. You can tell by the stitching, by all this kind of stuff. And by the way, if you use the VR Essentials name in the coupon when you order from them, it will give us a little kickback. So thank you very much for your support. Do please use that when you order from them. But the point is that, the build quality in the stuff that they do is actually very good for VR Cover. And then you have Kiwi, which equally build good stuff, but it's not as good as VR Cover. And people who buy from Kiwi or VR Cover will know this simply because the materials that they use in Kiwi aren't as refined or as luxurious, if you wish. And also the finishing isn't as great as, VR Cover. So what does this mean for Razer? They're going to compete with all these other guys. And of course, so many people love Razer products. So this could actually create a dent in the VR space for both Kiwi, VR Cover, and other potential competitors as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether it means, or will it mean that VR Cover and Kiwi and all these people potentially are not going to be able to make as much revenue. And, Razer having so much funding can, take losses much more on the chin than, VR Cover or Kiwi for that matter. So does it mean that little guys like VR Cover, or VR Cover, I don't think are little guys, but compared to Razer, they are going to be able to sustain the margin calls, or are they going to go down? So leave a comment below. Let me know what you think in terms of the business aspect, whether it means that the survival of the little guys, when you have people like Razer coming into the space for accessories, whether it means that it's going to be a big danger for the smaller guys. Leave a comment below. I'd love to start this conversation with you and hear your thoughts. All right, now the actual release of the products, according to this article, is supposed to be, as if we read on, both of Razer's VR peripherals for Quest 2 are slated to launch in the US sometime in Q1 2023. All right, so basically they're going to start in the United States first, and then maybe, around the world is basically what they're kind of saying. With plans to expand into other regions in the future, the company says. There's no word on pricing, however, but knowing Razer, it's quite definitely going to beat the third-party white label products awash on Amazon and eBay. So again, if they're not going to price super high and they're going to price around the same prices, let's say, as VR Cover or Kiwi, although being Razer, I'm not sure if they can go to those prices, but let's just imagine that they are. What is it really going to mean for them? Now, the other thing is, what do you guys really think that it means that they're selling, accessories first? Because if we go back to the website, as I mentioned, they have so many different products, and they don't just do, accessories. They actually do proper products, not just accessories. So if they're doing laptops, this means that they have the know-how, they have the relationships, they have the funding. Does this mean, guys, that potentially they're just dipping their toes in VR just to say, hey, guys, we're here, we're present, we're Razer, we are in VR, but does it mean that basically they're looking to actually develop in the background, in secret Razer research lab somewhere, a VR headset? Because that's what's really interesting. Now, there's so many different technologies that are coming out for VR streaming, right? We have standalone, which means that everything's inside of the VR headset. You don't need a PC or anything like that. Then you have potentially boxes that will be sold separately to stream the content into the VR headset. Apple is one of those who patented some kind of technology to do that. Whether it means it will come out with their actual VR headset, we don't know, but it's an option. We also know that potentially phones could be used to power a VR headset in the future. And of course, we can stream directly to a PC via Steam VR or via potentially another streaming service, right? Like Viverse, for example. So, it's very interesting because there's going to be different ways, and also there's going to be shadow cloud streaming as well, of course. So basically it means streaming from the cloud directly into VR headset. So, and we've seen some partnerships between some of these software developers or marketing distributors who, provide the content for VR headsets. Like, for example, Lenovo's VR headset is, being powered by someone else to provide them all the games. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether it means that Razer are actually saying, without saying it, that they're developing a VR headset and potentially disrupt the space. What do you guys think? Do you think underlyingly, would you want to see Razer actually release a VR headset? What kind of VR headset do you think they would release? Like, let's just be, completely spontaneous here and just imagine a killer headset that they would do. It'd be great to just talk about it and just brainstorm with you and just imagine, a world where Razer releases a headset. What do you think it would look like? What do you think it would be? Leave a comment below. Love to have your thoughts on that. But yeah, so guys, this is really what I wanted to talk about to you, or with you today, because I think it's very interesting that, we haven't really heard about Razer and what it means, and, other people talking about this. Maybe MRTV spoke about it. I'm not quite sure. But I think it's very exciting. I think it potentially means that they are developing more than purely an accessory. I think the accessory, personally speaking, is just to dip their toes, see the feel, see the temperature as to how the space is for them, and see whether it's something that they will really consider to keep developing further. And also, what kind of accessory would you actually want them to do? Leave a comment below. They're doing facial interface now. They're going to do, a head strap. What other accessories would you want to see Razer doing? All right, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. It's been lovely to spend some time. I will see you in another video very, very soon. Stay tuned for the shout outs as I put them up in every video at the end now. Take it easy. Bye for now.